Okay, so I will tell you what I will do today is that I will tell you a little bit about my story. So we will go through my career path, but I will also tell you a little bit about my life, actually, just a bit. If we look at the title, what a neuroscientist learned by becoming a managing director, I just want to say that something that you will probably see during the presentation is that the first thing that I learned is that I love neuroscience even more, okay? So that's the first thing. But then I also learned a few things during all my career. And we will see these things together in what I've called, what I've learned, my leaderboard, okay? And you will see, following my life, following my career path, we will add a few points. And we will add a total of 11 points that are actually mine. It's what I think is needed to be, what I believe to be a good leader. It's only my opinion, and I do not pretend that you will make this board your board then, okay? There will also be a point number 12, which is not mine, and you will see this at the end. So, I really never thought in my life to become a leader. I've been a bullying victim for many years, and I really suffered this very much. That was at school, and was for really many years. But why? I was shy. I was overweight. My parents had a very conflictual relation. I was an introvert. I had very different interests compared to my schoolmates. There are other things that I was interested. I was feeling alone. But most of all, I think, I was clever. And that disturbed a lot of people. I was always the first in the class. I liked to study. I liked a lot of curiosity. And that is what I was. Now, nothing actually changed in year from what I am now. I'm the same, with the only difference that actually my parents divorced, thanks God, so there is no more conflictual relation. So, we can go already on the leaderboard and put a first point, which is probably obvious. So I will state obvious things, I will state new things, I will state things that maybe are stupid, and other things that maybe are intelligent, I don't know. But the first point that we have to put in here is that bullying is hateful. A leader, never use it. Point number 1. Again, before going into my career, I had to protect myself somehow from this bullying. And the way that I found was to go into dreams. So I found protection in hopes. I was hoping into the future and in dreams. What I was doing is I was reading a lot Marvel comics. And one of my favorite superheroes is Spider-Man. And probably you don't know that Spider-Man in his real life doesn't exist, as actually as Shane would say, he doesn't exist. But in his real life that doesn't exist, he is Peter Parker. And Peter Parker is a scientist. So wow, a scientist and a superhero. And for me, this was my model, actually. So when I was at school and I had all this bullying, I thought, I want to be a scientist and a superhero, and you will see. And that's what I tried to do. And I was repeating to myself, I will climb the wall. No matter what, I will climb the wall. So we can go ahead with the leaderboard now. Point number 2, dreaming is fundamental. A leader has visions of the future. And you have seen this with Laurie as well, expressed in a different way, but the message is the same. A third point as well. No, not yet. Will come later. Okay, now, this is my career path. As you can see, I've been in different countries. I switched from the academia to the industry quite often. But on each of these parts of my career, I actually learned something that then I use today in my being a leader. So I will start with telling you what happened in my period in Italy, in Sassari, the University of Sassari, where I actually studied medicine, veterinary medicine. And then from there, I actually moved into a company, into a pharmaceutical company. Then I stayed in this pharmaceutical company for 6 years. In that company, I entered as a student, as an undergraduate student, and I was doing my thesis. But the most important thing that happened in that period, which I call the Italian period, is that I discovered neuroscience. And I really had a love for it. So my passion became my job. What I also learned is that we need to keep going our neuronal plasticity in the brain. It's extremely important for an healthy brain. And maybe Shane will go a little bit more through this after the break. To keep our neuronal plasticity going, we need to challenge ourselves. We need to be able to change. We need to learn. Least but not last, we need to exercise. It's very important. We cannot just always stay, in a chair, looking at the computer. It's very important to exercise. All this for an healthy brain. So the leaderboard. Now we can really add a point number 3, passion for your job. You really need to identify something that you love in your job. And if you are a leader, you want to be respected by your team, you need to be a leader in your field as well. A leader is a leader in his field. 4th point, challenging, changing, learning, exercising. A leader needs an healthy brain. Your brain is everything. You need it to be healthy. Okay, then I moved on, and I had a change in my life, a challenge. I moved from Italy and I went to England. I went to England to the university to actually do a PhD in neuropsychopharmacology. So another big challenge. I moved from being a vet to become a psychopharmacologist. Oof, really different. And then I actually started and continued my career, not as a student anymore, but as a scientist, as a junior scientist in GlaxoSmithKline. It was a big challenge, and a big change again. So I went abroad to work for a top pharmaceutical company. It was 2003. At that time, GSK was one of the first pharmaceutical companies in the world. So I arrived there with a lot of things in my mind. So what I realized when I arrived in UK, I realized things that are very important. First, that I was arrogant. The first time, I didn't speak English. I thought I was speaking English. I arrived there, I understood that no, it's not true. They were talking to me, I was not understanding at all. The second point, I wasn't the best scientist in the world. I was sure I was going to win the Nobel Prize just in a few years. I arrived there, I realized, well, no, it's not true. Look at all these people, they're amazing. They know a lot of things. So the point number 3, I really had to be better. Learn. There are also other things that I actually learned. It was hard to be far from my family and my friends. It is hard, still it is, but it's part of the job, and it's a big challenge. It was at Allegiant. Food was really bad in England. Really, really bad. Now maybe things are better, I don't know. No? No? Okay. But weather was okay, was fine. I'm coming from the northern of Italy, so it was not so different. What I admired in such a big organization, we were talking about warmth and competence, and I think this is what I actually learned by working in there. I admired that it was a big company, but small teams. Distribution of leadership. There was an invaluable team spirit, an amazing team spirit. They were all helping each other in the team. And I understood this to be very important. Each scientist was well prepared, and this is actually going back to this. I wasn't the best scientist at all. Team leaders were experts, were real experts in their field. There was dedication. There was hard working. There was loyalty. So I admire all this, but the way in which I was feeling in there was this. It was Goliath, and I was feeling like David. But I tried to do something. I was looking the monster inside the eyes, and I was trying to learn everything. It was like a sponge. I was absorbing everything. Everything that I thought to be useful for me, for my future career. So even if I was in front of a monster, I was not scared. I was looking him straight into the eyes. So if you go back to my leaderboard, what can we add now? We can add something that I just show you now to you while I was talking. I actually had no issues to tell you that I was bullying as a bullying victim. I had no issue to tell you that I went there and I was really arrogant. So transparency in showing weaknesses is very important for a leader. We should not be scared of doing it. And also we should not be scared to face this with our team. We can say to our team, and that's what I do, look, this is scaring me. Or look, really, I don't know, I'm not sure, I don't feel sure. Maybe we should talk all together. A leader faces them with his team, really. Recognize is better and learn from them. A leader is not arrogant. That's for sure, now I know. Dedication and motivation. A leader set the example. I'm stating the obvious here, but this is actually what you have to do. You have to be the first to show dedication and motivation. Doesn't mean that you are the first in the office and the last to go away. It's not this. It's just that you show that someone has to be done, You respect the deadlines, and you do it. So Transformation was a company, it's a spin-out from GlaxoSmithKline, and the company was created in 2010. The former of the company is called Neil Upton. He was a big director of the biology department, the neurology department in GSK. He's a person with more than 25 years experience. We are privately owned. GSK has no stake in the company, but they put some money just to help us, what is called seed support, so equipment and some kind of money. We are a CRO. What does it mean, CRO? It means Contract Research Organization. It means that we do for pharmaceutical companies what they don't want to do anymore in-house. In this case, research in neuroscience. That's what we do. We have quite a successful company now. We have a global client base of around 40 companies, and we have some expansions planned under implementation, which I cannot reveal now, but very soon in the future. The company in UK has an headquarters in London, close to St. Pancras, which is quite handy, and they have the labs at the Royal Veterinary College. Their main disease expertise is cognitive disorder, pain, sleep disorders, and they work with animals, and they do a lot of electrophysiology. And this is UK. Then I arrived in Ireland with an objective, create a company from scratch. And when I arrived in Ireland, this is what I found. If we can play the video. So what I found in Ireland was the sound of the wind and the song of the sea, which in my brain were actually, my neuronal plasticity was getting crazy about it. Because all this, for me, translated with something that actually I didn't have in France, but I had in here, freedom. I had a lot of freedom. The guys that gave me the possibility to create a company gave me a lot of freedom. The country itself, this very country here, and the way in which it's built, the landscape, everything gave me this incredible sensation of freedom. And I understood that freedom of the leader and freedom of your team is extremely important. It's freedom to innovate, it's freedom to create, freedom to allow the others to create. It's freedom, very important. And so all this freedom gave me the energy to create what we have now. We are Transformation Ireland. We are based at the Trinity College Dublin in the Institute of Neuroscience. We registered in Ireland in June 2014, so 3 years and a half, more or less. We are still a kind of a baby company. We got campus company status in Trinity College, meaning that we have our labs and our offices in Trinity, and Trinity got some shares of the company. It's a very nice deal, because we are close to all the academics and we can interact with them and we can collaborate. It works really well now, not at the beginning, but like everything, you need, to put efforts in that. We completely differentiate from the UK labs, so we mainly work on psychiatric and neurodegenerative disorders. We do work with animals. We do a lot of biomarkers, meaning that we try to find something in the bloodstream which is altered in those diseases, psychiatric and neurodegenerative. But we also do a lot of experimental medicine, meaning we work directly with the patients. So we do something new, things that are new, and things that I actually never did before, and I'm still learning now. Something that I really, really learned with Transformation Ireland is that I'm still a dreamer, and I will never stop to be a dreamer. And Transformation Ireland was a dream. And I know dreams can be realized, but I realized that dreams cannot be realized alone. So another message that I give to you is always treasure your team. This picture was taken in San Diego. We were at the Society for Neuroscience. It's a huge conference. And it was evening, and we were going, I don't know, at the top of the Hilton Hotel. I don't know where we were. This guy that you have in here is called Jack Pranderville. I believe him to be my right hand. And we were working, and there was this window. And on the window, there was the sentence from John Lennon. You may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. And then there was a person that actually took the picture and then gave it to us. And I think this is very important. You need your team to believe in your dreams, and you need to make them believe in the dreams. I strongly now believe in that. There's nothing that can be realized only with your own efforts, especially in business, and especially if you want to do something different and new. And there is a wonderful, wonderful say from a Roman poet who is called Lucretius, who said, we are, each of us, angels with only one wing, and we can only fly by embracing one another. And this is, I think, what we need to really believe when we think about our team. We have only one wing. The team is the other team, it's the other wing, and only together we can fly and reach our successes. So, Transformation Ireland, a growing reality. By using all this, we actually went to the final already in 2016 of the Irish Laboratory Award. We didn't win, but we were in the final. It was a startup laboratory of the year, laboratory team of the year. Some numbers you can clearly see. We're growing up in terms of stuff, growing up in terms of revenue in an amazing way. And I do believe it will continue. So the last points for my leaderboard are 9, freedom. A leader needs and gives freedom of action and creativity. Sharing. A leader inspires motivation to realize dreams. There is a dream that you have to give. Team is everything. That's what I believe. There is no great leader without a great team. So these are my 11 points. As I told you, there is a point number 12. And by chance, it's actually, if you look at the bottles you have on the table, is that guy, which you can see through the bottles, that said point number 12, which is the following: be yourself, everyone else is already taken. So I thank you for your attention.
Does anyone have any questions for Max on his experience and the lessons he shared with us? Any thoughts at all? I have one, perhaps, and that's just thinking about your journey through GSK into France and now in transformation. How did you see or experience the different mindsets playing out? Growth mindset, culture of development, culture of genius, and so on. Because you talked about really smart people, and then you went in and described yourself as perhaps being arrogant to start with. How did that play out? How did you see that?
Yeah, I think I clearly, I mean, it's my own experience is that I clearly moved from the culture of genius. I mean, you know, when I arrived in GSK, I thought to be a genius. So the culture of genius. And then I moved to the culture of development, and that changed everything. The growth mindset, absolutely, what I've shown in here is all growth mindset. Yeah. And that really, I think, is fundamental to drive a successful business. It's not easy to move your own mindset. It requires efforts. But I think I did it because I had the ambition to arrive to something. So when you have this ambition, and especially when you have the ambition coupled with a dream, with a clear vision of where you want to arrive, somehow I was feeling the only way I have to arrive is to change my mindset. If I will stay like this, I won't. But of course, probably I've been lucky because I went to work for GSK, I saw the example. Maybe other people will not have the possibility to see the example, won't change the mindset.
Yeah. So if, for example, someone had gone in and said, actually, I am the genius, and in fairness was very good at their job, do you think the GSK culture, and thinking here about organizational culture generally, would it have actually supported them in stepping back and saying...
Yeah, but they would have changed his mindset into development. So they would have done this. And I try to do it as well. I mean, there are very talented people that we can call genius in their fields, and I like to have them in my team. But when they enter, then I try to change their mindset into development one, you know. Okay. That's, I think, is the best to do, yeah.
Okay. So then, stepping forward, when you became a managing director, what, and again, perhaps using the term that Johnny Murphy used earlier on about a template or a blueprint for a culture, what thinking did you have for creating a culture within this startup, within this new organization?
As I told you, it was very challenging for me because I am a neuroscientist and I had to create a company. I had to learn things that with whom I never dealt before. All the administration, all the taxation, all this was kind of a burden. So there was a lot to do. And as I said before, I will never do it together. I will never do it alone. I need someone to do it together. So when I started to have the money to hire people, I tried to understand what they wanted, what their objectives, their dreams, and I tried to merge their dreams with my own dreams and make their dreams into Transformation Island, okay? They're all neuroscientists. The people that I hire are all neuroscientists which have clear ambitions in making the difference in science. And I let them see, not believe, because it's different, see a reality, which is what is Transformation Island, because we want to do business, but we also want to make a difference in neuroscience, and that's what they want to do, okay? So in this way, I create a culture of team spirit, working together for a new objective. So, and allows me to have the scientific part covered by a team of scientists. I do still give, you know, the idea, I do still supervise all the neuroscientific projects, but it gave me the possibility also to give time for the administration, going around the world to see the clients and all this. So yeah, I think that's what I've done, is trying to merge their dreams with my dreams and make only one dream. Yeah.
So in a sense, it sounds very much like what I was describing with distributed leadership.
Absolutely.
Set the vision,
absolutely,
give them the trust and empowerment.
Absolutely. Okay. Absolutely.
Okay. Excellent, thank you. Any other questions? Good.
Yeah, yourself, but also open to all the speakers. You mentioned teams, building your team. Do you think there's a danger when you're building your team that you go for people that kind of remind you of yourself, and do you think that's a good thing, or do you think you should deliberately go for different personality types or skill sets? Or
okay, so becoming a leader is an evolving thing, okay? At the beginning, probably it's very easy to do this mistake. You want to hire people that looks like you because you like yourself so much. So, but then when you start to grow up and you start also to have other people, you start to realize that maybe other skills are required. Maybe also not different way to see things is needed. But it requires, for me, it required a couple of years after, you know, Transformation Island. And now I'm actually very happy, you know, when I receive a CV and when I do interviews, I'm very happy to see that there is someone that thinks in a way that is different from me. And I feel this not as something threatening me, but as an addition. a very important one. But it's part of the evolution of becoming a leader. As I told you, I repeat myself at the beginning, you just want copycats of you. It's normal.
We'll be coming to diversity in a few minutes when we get into the final session, but I think there is a challenge there for people who can think, well, I've been successful, so why don't I hire people who are just like me? And so they'll also be successful, and I'll understand how they're thinking, and they'll understand me, so everything is going to be great. But it's not how it always happens, how it always works.
Yeah, I think there was another question.
Just from a transparency point of view, I'm a physio, so not one of the business heads, but
That's great. We're glad to have you here as well.
the neurodegenerative stuff you're working on in Trinity,
Right.
is it what conditions are you working with, and maybe are you hopeful of any?
Yeah, no, we are working with, we work on Alzheimer's disorder, mild cognitive impairment, and now we are starting a very exciting project on Parkinson's disease. And our main field of research is biomarker. So we want to try to find something actually in the blood that can tell us when a person is at risk to develop in the future this disease. And this is for mild cognitive impairment and for Alzheimer. We also do work, as I told you, we are a CRO, but we are a special CRO because the money that is invested by the pharma company is invested on our own research. What I do is that I sell my research around the world, okay? They invest the money in this, and then I can use part of the money, of course, I have to pay salaries at the end of the month. So this is something else, new for a neuroscientist. They have salaries to pay, oh my God, you know? But part of that money is also invested in internal research. So we also have a drug discovery program. I cannot say much on it, but we are trying to find ways also to treat those disorders, which are actually horrible disorders. And you know, with the increase of the age population, unfortunately, they will have a terrible impact on the society. Yeah.
Thank you. Any other questions? Okay. So thank you very much, Max.
Thank you. Thank you.
What we'll do now